Kia ora, Catherine Williams-Olsen here, leader of the Our New Zealand political party. Just wanted to bring you some updates around our launch. We're all on track, but what we've decided to do is bring the Powhiri, the welcome, back to 4 o'clock on Saturday the 23rd, and that way people have got some time to drive in and we can share a kai together, have some whakawhanaunga time and be ready 10 o'clock on Sunday morning to start our hui and our launch. And the other thing about that too is that we can get the bizzo done and have people back on the road, especially those that have got further to drive. So that's our plan. So just to go over that, we're having the launch on Sunday morning, the 24th, but we will have the welcome and the Powhiri on Saturday the 23rd of March at 4 o'clock. So if you're driving in, come into the marae, then we'll have the welcome, we'll share some kai, we'll get to know one another, we'll set everybody up for the night, and then we wake up nice and refreshed and knowing who we are for our hui and the launch on Sunday morning. I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm sort of getting excited now knowing who's coming through and bringing people together. I'm really looking forward to that. The topics that we will cover at the hui on Sunday include the first couple of policies from the OURNZ policy drafts, which you can download at www.OURNZ, all in caps, OURNZ 2020.com. In the memberships tab on the website, you can download a set of our draft policies and a membership form. I've still got a bit of work to do on that, but that's okay. You can still get what you need from the memberships tab on that website. So we'll be talking about the constitutional crisis that New Zealand is currently in. We'll be talking about monetary and banking reform. We'll talk a little bit about the taxation policy and the financial transactions tax so that you understand how that works. And we also, we just want to point out that that particular tax and the figures that I've put previously on another video, which I have to redo because I was really tired, we understand that that tax works with the figures that are on that video in the current financial environment. So once the banking and monetary system is reformed through the changes that RNZ is proposing, the whole environment in New Zealand will be quite different, simply because we haven't got the huge amounts of money, somewhere in the vicinity of 6 to 7 billion, I think now, going out of this country. So that's going to make a huge difference in the taxation environment. But we'll have a good kōrero about all of those things, and I also particularly want to speak about the Open Bank Resolution Act, because this particular piece of legislation has the capacity, the potential to cause tremendous harm, not just to individual New Zealanders but to us as a society. The Open Bank Resolution is essentially exactly what the name says. So in the event of bank failure, the banks will simply open the books. They will open the accounts, and the banks can come in, the failed bank can come in and take whatever of our money they need to sort their own difficulties out. Now this is, it's hugely concerning to everybody, but in New Zealand we've got this situation where iwi, and I'm one of many that watched for decades as our kuia and kaumātua, went through all of that history with lawyers and historians and the whole shebang, and we've been through that. We've travelled the angst, watched our extended whānaus and even closer sometimes at in battle with each other through all of this process, to get to a position now, post-treaty settlement, where iwi have some control and some say over customary resource. Now my own little story, as a trustee on our runanga of Ngāti Whare, which is a great honour. You know, we've managed to work the settlement that we got, which, you know, we know all of the stuff around the settlements, but hey, we're utilising what we have to our best ability. And now we've got a nursery set up in Minganui, which is enabling our people to stay on the whenua, remain as kaitiaki at the haukainga, and have some money in their pocket, and have a job, and get the satisfaction and sense of achievement that comes from that. So that's only one tiny little story, but it's a really cool story. It's uplifted our village, and there are so many cool stories from around New Zealand coming out of this post-treaty settlement space. So to have the open bank resolution enacted and to watch those iwi accounts then be emptied is almost more than what I think I could bear. And I just, you know, can't help but consider what that might do to race relations in this country, what that might do to our society. Even though we get it, a lot of us get it now, about the divide and conquer tactics, but still it'll be a really difficult thing to put New Zealand in. The regulation coming out of Australia, the reason I'm getting so concerned about this, you know, after the Royal Commission on the Australian banks, the recommendations coming through from the IMF were that $10,000 be left in depositors' accounts, and that the banks could take the rest. And they're calling that a full bail-in. This is what they're recommending to the Australian government. Now, it's not in Australian law yet. These are simply recommendations that have come through from the IMF as the big bank that controls all. So these are things that we need to be taking really, really seriously. Our own government brought this open bank resolution into law in 2013 here in New Zealand. So what I'm seeing now is through my eyes. I'm seeing us being slowly conditioned as a public to accept bank failure. We have these royal commissions, there's different inquiries that have gone on around the world and all that sort of thing, which actually is giving us a false sense of safety. As you know, we think, oh yeah, the government's got our back and they're dealing with the banks, la-di-da-di-da, but it's a really false sense of safety. It's an illusion. And what it takes our mind away from the systemic nature of the problem, which is the debt-based money system, and has us distracted in the how we can make this better. And you can never make it better, because it's the whole system that's wrong. It's a systemic problem in the debt-based money. And that's why we want to get New Zealand away from debt-based money and essentially change the environment that these financial institutions are currently thriving in, because it's the environment that's enabled them to do what they've done and basically get the whole world into debt. The world is indebted now. So in order to get out of that whole system that is designed in a way that will only bring about more suffering to humanity, we just want to get New Zealand out. And all of this stuff about, you know, putting more regulation on the banks and all that kind of stuff, it's never going to fix anything, because the problem is the systemic problem. It's the soil, the environment that the banks have been allowed to thrive in, and that's what we want to change, so that we can grow a financial system that really does serve community and larger society. And that's it for today. Looking forward to meeting you. It's one of the things I do love about this mahi. and getting in amongst people, hearing people's ideas and sharing people's stories. A lot of people in the 2014 campaign just were so relieved to hear this kōrero about the banks, because they're working 2 jobs and they're still broke, and people are wondering, what am I doing wrong? Well, you're not doing anything wrong. You're not doing anything wrong at all. It's the system that needs a shake-up. It's the system that has us bound into this debt, and forever chasing our tail trying to get out of it. So it's not you. And our whole society is bound up in debt. So the interest, the ever-increasing interest on the ever-increasing loan is the reason why public services continue to decline, because the money is all going on to paying back these loans, the interest on these loans. And that's what we have to get out of. We simply do. So looking forward to meeting you all, and keep the memberships rolling in, and we'll get this baby on the road. Kia ora, have a great day.